2010 was a banner year for Christie's International. In fact, its best in its 244-year history, racking up global sales of $5 billion. Well, joining us with more and really kind of to paint a picture of 2011 is Marc Porter. He is the chairman of Christie's Americas. Good to have you here with us.
Glad to be back.
So a record year in about your 250-year history. So that's pretty impressive. Why do you think that was, Marc?
I think that rich people decided at the beginning of the year that they had plenty of money to spend. They weren't so sure the year before, but as the year went on, they got more comfortable.
They felt more comfortable with kind of the backdrop in terms of what was going on?
They were quite sure about what assets they themselves had, financial assets, and also great property came onto the market, and that's always what drives it.
So what kind of rich people are we talking about? Europeans, Chinese, Americans? I mean, where were you seeing the buying as far as regions?
All regions were buying. The newest buyers are the Chinese. The Russians have been in force for a couple of years. The Europeans solid and steady, and the Americans came back in force this year.
Was there anything that surprised you? I mean, was it the Americans coming back in full force?
What surprised us was the quantity of material that came up from estates in a year when there was no estate tax. So there were all of these estates that had wonderful works of art.
Right.
Some of it was given to museums, and the rest came onto the auction block, and people went crazy for it.
Let's talk about, because some of the highlights, it's really impressive. The most expensive piece of art ever sold by anyone was sold last year by you guys, and it was a Picasso painting called Nude Green Leaves and Bust. I mean, it went for over $100 million.
Unbelievable price, I have to say.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, an unbelievable price, but an unbelievable painting. It hadn't been seen in public for over 20 years.
And is that why it demanded, Marc, if you will, such a price?
It demanded the price because it's one of Picasso's great works from his greatest year, 1932. These works are incredibly rare. It's wildly voluptuous, sexy picture, and there was interest from all over the world.
$106 million. I'm still having difficulty wrapping my head around how many Ferraris I could buy for that. Let's talk about the second biggest sale of the year. It was from the same collection, but it was a sculpture. And I think we have a picture. It's Giacometti, right? I remember because the last $100 million sculpture I saw was a Giacometti as well.
That's exactly right. This has been a year in which, or a 5-year period in which sculpture has become as expensive as flat art. So we've been seeing great prices for Giacometti, Modigliani, for antiquities. Sculpture has really been one of the things that have driven the market.
How small is that, by the way? We said, you know, the $100 million Giacometti was a big walking guy, and this is a tiny little head.
Well, it's a pretty big head.
Okay, so not that small.
I guess what I wanted to ask you is, we're not always surprised by the not crazy, but record prices set by a lot of artworks, paintings, if you will. Are you surprised, though, as you mentioned, it's kind of carrying over into antiquities, into sculptures, that it's kind of including a lot of other different forms of art here?
Yeah, I think that's really been the biggest surprise of the year. Even in the deep, dark days of the recession, even when things are really tough, the very best works of art bring big amounts of money.
Right.
The question is what happens to that luxury category: jewelry, wine, watches. And what we've seen this year is that those categories have exploded in interest, and the geographic distribution of those buyers has really shifted, so that we've seen the Asian markets really come to the table for those sorts of objects.
Can we ask about 2011? Because I think we have.
You can ask whatever you like. The art segment is yours.
The art segment is mine. What's 2011 looking like, Marc? Is it going to be another record year? I mean, I know it's early in the game here.
I can't answer that because our business is all about the supply, and the supply is driven by two things: discretionary selling, so if the market is good, people offer more to the market, and also estates. And it depends on what estates come up.
Okay. So you don't know. It's hard to tell right now.
It's too early to tell.
All right.
It's only January 10th.
I know. What can I tell you? I'm an impatient kind of person. Marc, great to have you back with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.